Hi and welcome to week 2 of the 6-week beginner yogi course online. In week 2 we are continuing with our Hatha style of yoga. We'll be revisiting poses such as child's pose, downward facing dog, our warrior 1 pose, our tree pose, and we'll also be adding in warrior 2 and warrior 3 as well. So as we did last week, feel free to find your comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. If you haven't already found it, have a little wriggle round. And just a reminder, if it's not comfortable to sit with your legs crossed, then you can sit with your legs extended, or you could even sit on the back of your heels if you would like to as well. You could have your knees bent with your hands just resting lightly on top of your knees if that's what feels more comfortable. I do recommend a cushion, a block, or a folded blanket for a little bit of height. And then whenever you're ready, closing the eyes. Take a nice deep full breath in. Exhaling. And just a reminder that we breathe in and out through our nostrils during our yoga classes. So to prepare our seat fully, just to settle in, we're going to shift the weight into the sit bones. And then we're going to get a little longer through the spine. Go ahead and bring the shoulders up, roll them down. Back of the neck lengthens, your chin tucks ever so slightly. Your elbows are soft, your fingers are relaxed, just wherever in your lap is most comfortable. And the features of your face are very soft, very relaxed. Without changing the breath or adding any control into it, go ahead and take your awareness down to the belly button. And just as we did last week, we're just going to observe as you inhale, noticing how the belly rises. And as you exhale, how the belly gently draws back in again. Point of awareness at the navel. Just observing the breath as it flows in and back out. And if you notice from time to time that you've become distracted, found yourself back up in your head, just acknowledge it, let it go, without judging or analyzing anything. Like a feather, just gently float back down to the navel. Start your practice again. Doesn't matter how many times you have to float back down to the navel, it's all part of the practice. Letting go of your awareness at the navel on the next exhale. Go ahead and take an inhale in. As you exhale, bring the chin down to the chest, just lightly. Subtle stretch down the back of the neck here. As with last week's class, if there's any neck sensitivities, then just sit quietly with the eyes closed. Inhale back to center and exhale, tilting the chin up, keeping the shoulders drawing down. No need to crunch through the back of the neck. Very, very subtle stretch down the front of the neck. Inhale center And as you exhale, bring your right ear down to your right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And exhale. Gently blink open the eyes. We're going to begin with a warm-up for the shoulders today. Now, last week we did eagle arms, which was the upper back and the shoulder blades, and this time we're just going to work to warm up through the shoulders in general. So on your inhale, I want you to bring your arms out in front of you, palms facing each other. And then as you exhale, we're going to open the arms as we come down and around. So inhale as we sweep up. And exhale as we come down and around. Take your time as you do this. Nice big circles with the fingers. You might hear a little bit of clicking and crunching through the shoulders. That's perfectly normal. If this causes any discomfort at all, then you can just pause and just sit quietly, or you could even go back to eagle arms if you'd prefer to do eagle arms, just like we did in the first video. One more in this direction. And then pause. And we'll go back, up, and around. Take your time. Inhale. Exhale as we come down and around. Going slow enough that you can actually feel the shoulders being worked here. One more. And then just relax the shoulders down. And the arms out in front of you, palms facing upwards. And then bend the elbows and bring your fingertips on top of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into touch. And we're going to do the same thing here, but we're just doing it with drawing with circles with our elbows this time. So as you inhale, bring the elbows down and then up and around. 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Keep it going in your own time. Letting the breath lead the movement. So go slow enough that you can actually time it with the breath. Once you've done your 4th circle, just pause at the top and then go in the opposite direction. So this time we inhale up and exhale down and around. Nice deep full breaths in. Long slow exhales out as you come down and around. Doing one more. And then just let the elbows touch softly. Relax the arms down. Give the shoulders a little shake. And just sit quietly for a moment. We're going to move into our spinal twist. So stay on your cushion or blanket, or hop onto one if you're not on one already. Go ahead and bend the right knee. Step the right foot over top of the left. Bring your left fingertips out behind you. You can either just kind of rest on top of your fingertips if you need to. The left foot is flexed and we're bending the right elbow and bringing it onto the inside of the knee. So same as last week here. We're going to inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale from the belly button, we begin our twist open to the left. So take your time here so you can actually feel the twist coming from the belly. And just find a comfortable gaze, maybe down towards the left hip. Could be past the left shoulder. That causes any strain on the neck, then just move the neck. Move the gaze to somewhere more comfortable. Take an inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, maybe deepen the twist just a little bit more. And our gaze comes back to center first, followed by the body. And just shake out the legs. And let's do the other side. So this time we step the left foot over top of the right leg, right fingertips out behind us, bringing the left elbow to the inside of the left knee. Let's take an inhale, lengthen, nice and tall. Slow exhale, opening to the right, twisting from the belly button. Taking an inhale to lengthen, and exhale, deepen the twist from the navel. Let the head come back to center, followed by the body. And then go ahead and extend the leg nice and long, give them a little shake out. We'll move into butterfly pose to warm up the hips now. So bringing the soles of the feet together, bending the knees, and just a reminder from last week, have either a cushion or a blanket for a little bit of support here so that you can tilt the pelvis forward so that you're not hanging out in the lower back, kind of crunching under. We want to sit up nice and tall, and our hands are either on our ankles or our toes. You choose what feels good for you. If you need to give yourself more room, then just press the heels forward and have more of a diamond shape for your butterfly. Absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. All depends on how you're made up. So when you feel comfortable, hands on ankles or around toes, go ahead and take a nice deep full breath in. And as you exhale, keep the chest nice and proud as you come forward out over the legs. And this is where you might just hang out somewhere hovering over the legs, or you might even bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, and as you exhale, just gently press the knees down. Find a point of focus just somewhere just in front of the toes, where your eyes just naturally rest today. And if you feel particularly tight through the hip area, you might like to send some nice deep full breaths in, all the way down to the hips. Let it spread through both sides. And as you exhale, just consciously deciding to let go of that tension and tightness. Creating space within the hip area. Pausing here for 3 more breaths. And then we're just going to sit up nice and tall. Use our hands to gently close the knees over, and then make our way up into tabletop on our hands and knees. Once you're in tabletop position, just check on your alignment. So hips over knees, shoulders over top of wrists, fingers spread nice and wide apart. We'll practice our cat-cow pose to warm up the back and the spine before we come into child's pose and practice our downward facing dog. So the back is nice and long to begin with. And to come into cow pose, we dip the belly on the inhale, curl the tailbone and the crown of the head up so that you're looking straight ahead. And then as you exhale, you curl the tailbone and the crown of the head under, press the mat away, draw the navel towards the spine into your cat pose. Inhale to curl up, cow pose. And exhale, curl under into your cat pose. Taking 3 more rounds in your own time, letting the breath lead the movement, and beginning your movement from the tailbone and rolling it up like a wave to the crown of the head. And when you've finished your 4th round, go ahead and bring the toes together, widen the space between the knees, and sink back into child's pose. Now, just a gentle reminder, if your head doesn't comfortably rest on the mat, you can stack your fists, use your block, or you could even keep the hips over top of the knees, come down onto the forearms and rest your forehead on stacked fists. It's important to find a variation of child's pose that's comfortable for you because this is your resting pose. This is the pose that you come to at any stage that you feel like you need to take a break. From child's pose, move back up into your hands and knees into tabletop. And we'll practice our downward facing dog. So just a quick little recap from last week. We want to have our fingers spread nice and wide apart. And we're actively pressing through the knuckles and through the pads of our fingers so that we're feeling grounded and connected to the floor. This is going to help you to lift the tailbone high and shift the weight out of the arms so that we don't have that feeling of holding all the weight in our arms. Bring the knees around a hip width apart, and when you feel ready, go ahead and tuck the toes under. And as you press the mat away, slowly hover the knees. Keeping the knees bent, I want you to see if you can lift the tailbone, press your heart down towards your toes, and let the head just rest comfortably between the arms. Into your upside down V, your downward facing dog. So from here, let's go back down to the hands. Gazing forward, picking all the fingers up and then gently pressing them back down. Let the head rest comfortably between the arms, looking between the thighs or the knees. Go ahead and bend the knees, press the mat away, lift the tailbone a little higher. As you press your heart down towards your toes, we're pressing our belly towards our thighs, and then just lightly beginning to press the heels down towards the floor. Your knees may stay very bent and your heels may still be lifted, just like mine are. Give the head a little shake. Pause here for 3 more breaths. Remember, at any time you need to, you can come down into your child's pose, take a little breather, and then join back in whenever you're ready. Last breath here. Softly coming down onto hands and knees, and then come into child's pose, whatever variation feels good for you right now. While we're in our child's pose, let's just practice our yogic breathing, taking 5 deep breaths in, 5 long exhales out. From child's pose, slide onto your belly, and you can just prop yourself up on your forearms to begin with. So just as we did last week, we're going to practice cobra pose here. So we have the feet about a hip width apart, heels in, toes outwards, and then lower the torso down, and we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. So the tops of the fingers in line with the tops of the shoulders if you can, or as close to as possible. So go ahead and lower the forehead down to the floor. Take your time as you hug the elbows in and roll the shoulders away from the ears. Remembering from last week, the first half of our inhale, we engage the muscles through the back. And then as we end our inhale and lift, we press the hands into the mat, activate the arms. So exhale to prepare. And as you inhale, just using muscles of your back to come to your halfway point, and then engaging through the hands, maybe lifting a little higher. Exhale as you slowly lower. Inhale as you lift up, elbows in, shoulders rolling down, pressing through the pubic bone. And exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Last one in this set, elbows in, shoulders rolling down. Take an inhale to lift up. And exhale to lower. Pause here, take a breath. Slight variation this time, so draw the elbows in, roll the shoulders down. Fingers spread nice and wide apart, grounding down through the fingers. As you inhale, lifting up. Pause here, stay up as you exhale. Inhale as you turn your gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale fully. Take a breath in between. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale as you rise, lift the heart. Pause here, exhale. Inhale, gaze over the right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Inhale over to the left. Exhale back to center. Take another inhale here. And exhale. Take a breath in. Let the breath out. Last round here. Hug the elbows in, draw the shoulders back. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, pause. Inhale over the right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. One more inhale, slightly taller. And exhale. Just carefully bring the feet back together. Let the heels hang out. Toes touch. And then rest your left cheek on the mat. Bring your arms down alongside you. Palms facing up. And just take a pause here for a moment. You might even give the hips a little shake just to release any tension through the lower back. And go ahead and bring the hands under the shoulders. Press back into your child's pose for a moment. Whatever variation suits you. Keep the elbows nice and soft. Maybe even stack the hands one on top of the other. Rest your forehead down. And we'll do 5 rounds of our yogic breathing here. Nice deep full breath in and out. Filling up the belly, rolling the breath up into the chest, and exhaling fully. Once you've taken your 5th exhale, making your way back into tabletop position, preparing to lift into downward facing dog so that we can practice our standing postures for today. So making sure the fingers are spread nice and wide apart, maybe even lifting the fingers up and then spreading them wide and gently bringing them back down. Pressing through the pads of the fingers, the knuckles, in particular engaging through the index finger and the thumb. Whenever you're ready, tuck the toes, press the mat away as you hover the knees. Keep the knees bent as you lift the tailbone high. And then go ahead and rest the head comfortably between the arms, pressing the heart down towards the toes as you keep lifting the hips up. Maybe pedaling the feet up and down.
Nice deep full breaths in and out. Remember, at any stage you can come down into tabletop or into child's pose. Take a little breather. Keep pressing down through the fingers. See if you can relax the shoulders a little. Three more breaths here. End of your next exhale, gaze forward, bend those knees and tiptoe up to the top of your mat. So we're walking into a standing forward fold. So our feet are a hip width apart, our knees are bent generously, and we're just resting the torso over the legs. The arms are really relaxed, fingers relaxed. You might even sway a little from side to side, keeping the knees as bent as you need to. Truly, we don't need to have straight legs at all in forward fold. And then just finding stillness. If you've taken a little sway, ground down through the feet, tuck the tailbone under and slowly begin to unroll up to standing. Once you're there, roll the shoulders and just pause for a moment. To begin our standing postures today, we are going to revisit Warrior 1 and then we'll practice Warrior 2 and then we'll even do Warrior 3, which is a strengthening pose as well as a balancing pose. So for Warrior 1, just a quick little recap. Our hips stay forward, facing forwards in Warrior 1, so straight ahead. Bring your hands to your hips, soften your knees, and go ahead and step the right foot back to begin with. So as we step the right foot back, we want to encourage the left hip back, right hip forward. So straight away, if you can feel that back knee twisting, then go ahead and step the foot out towards the edge of the mat. Give yourself more room, and then you should be able to feel the hips facing forwards. Nice deep bend in this front knee. Having the knee directly over top of the ankle. We're pressing down through that left foot, so we're feeling grounded through the left foot, and we're pressing into the outside of that back foot, the knife edge of the back foot, so this leg is also active. Go ahead and square off the hips. Lengthen the tailbone down, so the front of the hips will lift, and you can draw the navel in towards the spine, so we're nice and active here. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, soft shoulders, soft gaze, breathing in and out through the nostrils here. Finding a dristi, a point of focus, just wherever the eyes naturally rest. 3 more breaths. And we'll just bring the hands back down to the hips, lift the back heel, and step the foot forward, walk it out. Let's do the left side. So soft knees, careful step back with the left foot this time. So the heel is in, toes are facing outwards towards the left edge of the mat, and we're bending into the right knee. And then we're going to try and see if we can square those hips off so that the hips are facing forwards. So if you need to, like I do, you could step out further with the left foot so that you give yourself more room. And then it should be a little easier to square the hips up. So knee is over top of the ankle. We're pressing into the outside of that left foot, into the knife edge of the left foot. So as you do that, you might feel that the inner arch lifts a little bit. We're lengthening the tailbone down, drawing the navel back towards the spine, making sure those hips are still squaring off. And when you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Find a dristi, a point of focus. And we're squeezing that right knee back so the right knee is not dropping inwards. Easy breaths in and out through the nostrils.
3 more breaths here. Now, after your next exhale, just bringing the hands back down to the hips, stepping the left foot forward, walk it out. And then go ahead and turn sideways on your mat so we can practice our Warrior Two pose. So from the top of your mat, take a nice wide step across the mat, as wide as you dare here, wider than you probably think. And then we'll do the left side first. So we're going to turn the left toes towards the short edge of the mat, and then the right toes angling in slightly. So toes in, heel out. Now alignment-wise for Warrior Two, your front heel is in line with the middle of the back foot. Go ahead and bring your hands onto your hips. And then with an exhale, we're just slowly going to bend the left knee and lower the hips down. So hips are opening towards the long edge of the mat for Warrior Two. For Warrior One, we were facing forwards. For Warrior Two, we face out sideways. So we have a nice deep bend in that front knee. We have the knee over top of the ankle. And for Warrior Two, if you look down towards your big toe, you should be able to see your big toe, but your other toes are hidden by your knee. So we don't want to have the knee dropping inwards. We want to squeeze the knee back. So go ahead and bring awareness into the outside of the right foot, and we want to press down into the mat. So we lift the right kneecap. So we're feeling nice and strong in our foundation. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, float the arms up to shoulder height. Maybe take a little squeeze, make sure they're nice and even. And then let your gaze settle just past your middle left finger. Continue to lengthen the tailbone down. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And we pause here for 3 more breaths. Last breath here. And as you inhale, straighten that front knee, lower the arms down, bring the feet back to parallel. Just pause for a moment to bend through the knees, shake it out a little bit. And we're going to turn the right toes towards the right edge of the mat, left toes inwards just slightly. Alignment-wise, that front heel in line with the middle of the back foot, hands on hips, and with an exhale, slowly bending into that right knee. So we have our nice long line from our knee to our ankle. We can see our big toe, but we're squeezing that right thigh back so that we're not knocking the knee forward. We're pressing into the outside of the back foot there, so both legs are feeling active. Lengthen the tailbone down. As you inhale, float the arms up. And exhale as you turn your gaze to look past your middle right finger. Find a dristi, a point of focus. And breathe in and out through the nostrils. 3 more breaths here. Once you've taken your 3rd exhale, straighten up that right leg, lower the arms down, bring the feet to parallel, and then just go ahead and heel toe the feet back in together. Pause here for a moment, take a breath. So before we come into Warrior Three pose, we're going to practice tree pose again, as we did last week. So let's begin in Tadasana with our toes together, tiny bit of space between the heels. Go ahead and lift all the toes up and then rock forwards. Lift the heels and then gently lower them down. Lift the kneecaps, lengthen the tailbone down, front of the hips will rise. Gently draw the navel back towards the spine. Big inhale, lift up, and exhale, roll the shoulders down, open the palms. So lift your gaze, neck is nice and long, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling, and find your dristi, your point of focus. So this is something that's stationary, that's not going to move. Bring your hands into heart center, gently pressing thumbs against the chest. Shift the weight into the left foot and bring your right foot into tree pose. So a little kickstand at the ankle, or you could draw the inside of the foot up to the inner calf. You choose, whatever feels good. If you would like to add in the arms, take an inhale, raise the arms up overhead. Exhale as you open, soft shoulders, soft gaze. Encouraging that right knee to open. And close the palms over. Lower the hands down and relax the foot. Shake it out. Alright, come into Tadasana. Once again, preparing for the right side. Shifting the weight into the right foot, hands in at heart center. And bringing your left foot to the inside of the ankle or to the inner calf. You choose what feels good on this side. And just take note that you may feel more steady on one side rather than the other, and this is completely normal. Most of us are more balanced on one side than the other. If you would like to, you could add in the arms. Keep your shoulders nice and soft and your gaze relaxed. Always focused in on the drishti point. Bring your hands back to heart center. Lower the foot back down and come into Tadasana. Pause here for a moment. Come to stand at the back of your mat so that you're facing long ways down the mat. And I'm going to give you a little demo of Warrior 3 before I bring you into it, just so you kind of know where you're going with this balancing pose. So I begin with my hands in at heart center, standing nice and tall in Tadasana. So I'm lengthening the tailbone down and engaging through the navel. My core is engaged here. Very important that our core is engaged so that when we begin to balance, we're not relying on our lower back. So we're continuously reminding ourselves to squeeze the belly button in throughout this pose. I'm going to step forward with my right foot, come up onto the ball of the left foot. And then I'm just slowly going to begin to tilt the torso forward as the back heel lifts up. So I'm trying to maintain a straight line from the heel up to the crown of the head as I find my T shape. Balancing here, grounding down through that standing foot, and then to come back up, I simply just lower the foot down and lift the torso, step back to the back of the mat. So it's important here to know that you don't have to find that T shape straight away. This is your first time trying it, or you may have tried it a couple of times. It takes a little bit of time to work your way into the T shape. So we're just going to take it step by step by step, and you can stop whenever you need to throughout the process. So hands in at heart center. Go ahead and lengthen the tailbone down, squeeze the belly button or cinch in through the waist, whatever you need to do to activate the core. Shift the weight into the left foot, have the knees a little bit soft. Take an easy step forward with the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Now from here, before we even begin to move, I want you to squeeze the belly button again, make sure it's still engaged. And then you might even just kind of hover here somewhere, lengthening through the crown of the head to the heels and just working on squeezing the belly button. If you would like to continue going down, as you slowly begin to tilt the torso, make sure you keep pressing the left hip down so the hip stays square and slowly lifting the heel. So you might even pause somewhere on a slight angle. You might even have the right knee a little bit soft so that you can press through that right foot. Just adjusting however you need to and continuously squeezing the belly button so that the core stays active. Slowly making your way down into your variation of Warrior 3. Pause wherever you are, just spend a few breaths there. And then very, very easy movements. Come back up and step to the top of your mat. All right, shake it out. So we've got to do the other side. So, Tadasana first, active through the core, tailbone lengthening down, hands in at heart center. Shift the weight this time into the right foot. Step the left foot forward. And once again, if you feel like you need to, you can have a little softness in that left knee. Make sure you're still squeezing the belly button at this stage, lengthening the tailbone down, shoulders away from the ears. And just working out on this side how far you're going to go by slowly tilting the torso as you lift the back heel. Keep pressing that right hip down, squaring the hips off. You may just pause somewhere in between your T. Wherever you are, make sure you can breathe. Pause wherever you are and just spend a few beats breathing here. And then slowly make your way up and step to the back of the mat. Release the arms, roll the shoulders. All right, let's make our way back down to unwind and enjoy our relaxation. So have the feet a hip width apart. You're still at the back of your mat here. Soft knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees and just softly forward fold down. So we're going to plant the hands onto the floor here, walk them forward into a downward facing dog. Take your time. Last one for the day. Looking towards your hands, picking up the fingers, spreading them nice and wide, and then slowly putting them back down, pressing into the floor, bending your knees. Big inhale as you press the mat away with your hands. Lift your tailbone, and then slowly pull the heels down towards the floor, keeping a little bend in your knees though. Nice, deep full breath in. Long, slow exhale out. Softly coming down to your hands and knees and resting in your variation of child's pose. Go ahead and make your way onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. As we did last week, maybe taking little rolls from side to side if you like. Finding that little sweet spot to massage through the lower back area. And we're going to do our spinal twist and then come into reclining butterfly and then come into our relaxation to end the class today. So as I mentioned last week, if you'd like a more subtle twist, bring the feet down to the floor and keep the soles of the feet there. Or if you would like a more intense twist, you have the knees in at the chest. So you decide whatever would feel better for you today. I'm going to have my feet down on the floor, but you're welcome to have the knees into the chest. Bring your arms nice and wide, palms facing downwards. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, just slowly let the knees drop over to the right. And turn your gaze and look out over the left. Feel free to close the eyes. Just pausing here for a few beats.
And slight engagement of the belly here. Squeeze the belly button. Inhale through center. Exhale, let the knees just softly fall over to the left. Turn your gaze out over to the right. Maybe close the eyes. Easy breaths in and out through the nostrils. Activate the core. Bring the knees back to center. Maybe give them a little hug. And bring the feet back down to the mat. Let the knees drop open as the soles of the feet draw together. Finding comfortable placement for your arms, either just a little bit away from the torso, palms facing up. You could bring right hand to your navel, left hand to your chest, or you could even bring the arms up overhead, taking opposite elbows with opposite hands. Wherever you are, just close the eyes. And you can decide here, you might decide to take nice deep full breaths in, long slow exhales out. Or you might just let the breath be natural and calm. Just enjoying that natural spontaneous breath in and out through the nostrils. Pausing here for 8 more breaths. Using your hands just to very gently, slowly close the knees over. And just bring the soles of the feet to the floor for a moment. Pause, let everything realign. If you'd like to give the knees a little hug into the chest, feel free to do that. A couple of nice deep full breaths in and out. And same as last week here, if you need to keep the knees bent to help support the lower back, let the knees knock in, walk the feet out to the edges of the mat, and you can come into your Shavasana from this point. Or you can extend the legs nice and long. Have the feet at the edges of the mat, toes hanging outwards, arms a little way from the torso, palms facing up, neck nice and long, chin slightly tucked, eyes and mouth closed. Taking a nice deep full breath into the belly, roll it up into the chest, and as you exhale, begin your relaxation. And with every exhale after, feeling relaxation gently ripple through the body, from head to toe. All the heavy parts softening, melting into the mat. Feeling the spine soften and relax.
Begin to deepen your breath once again. Nice deep full breaths in. Long slow exhales out. 2 more rounds of yogic breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Beginning to wiggle through your fingers, your toes, gently turning head from side to side. Drawing the feet together, reaching the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. And bending the knees, bringing the arms down, turning over onto your right side. Using your underarm as a pillow and just resting here. No rush to get anywhere. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. Finding your comfortable seat. Sitting on top of any cushions or folded blankets or blocks that you need to. Sitting up nice and tall with eyes closed. Breath is just easy, natural calm here. Bringing weight into the sit bones, sitting a little taller. Shoulders down, neck is long. Relaxing the features of your face. Elbows soft, fingers relaxed. When you feel ready, let the awareness float down to the navel. Spending these last few moments just focusing at the navel, observing the breath, what it does to the belly. And you become distracted, just acknowledging, letting go, letting the awareness just float back down to the belly button. Beginning your practice again. Bringing your palms together, lightly pressing your thumbs against heart center. Bringing your chin down to your chest and giving yourself a big smile for your practice, for trying something new today, for showing up. And we lift our thumbs to our forehead, honoring ourselves and each other. Bowing together and saying to one another, Namaste. Well done.